I don't know how you feel. I'm so grateful we're not doing video, at least right now, because I feel like I look like shit. I don't know. You look fine. You got the hat.
Yeah, I put the hat on.
I didn't. That's all right. Since we did the first episode, I have gotten a hat.
Yeah.
So that's an update.
Now everyone has a hat.
Everybody's got a Drew
all
Carey
of
Show
the
hat.
people involved in this have a hat.
The entire production got hats.
Yes, yeah. we really splurged.
Did you? We don't take it off now because it's going to be too much of a pain in the ass. It said it was made in Bangladesh. I think when I looked on the inside tag.
Yeah, could have been.
Fine.
Yeah,
I just think that's where they make hats.
I think that just seems
that's
like
where they make hats.
If I was a hat maker, I would hire a Bangladeshi crew.
Is that what we call them? I think
that is an appropriate name.
That's the term. We're doing a second episode of this.
Yeah, well, backed by popular demand.
Yeah. Everybody was clamoring.
Everyone was like, I've watched this show.
Will they, won't they?
Yes.
I need to know. Does Drew's weird neighbor have any weird animals? Oh, my God. We're going to talk about all of it.
Don't worry.
We're going to talk about all of it.
One thing, I got to start this off.
Yeah. Well, we should say this is going to be about episodes 3 and 4 of season 1 of the Drew Carey Show. This is Cleveland Rocks, a podcast where we're reviewing every episode of the Drew Carey Show because we're, I don't know, sociopathic? I don't know.
Yeah.
Psychopathic? I don't know what word to use.
Whichever one doesn't put us in an institution, but allows us to walk among
I don't need grippy socks.
Yeah, I don't need grippy socks, but I'm a little crazy.
What did you want to start off with?
Why this is unstreamable.
Okay.
Everyone
I
who we've told about this.
I heard something about this as well. I want to see if you found it as well. Somebody gave me a suggestion as to why it might be unstreamable.
Interesting. No, so what I found was, well, everyone's like, why are you doing a Drew Carey Show podcast? Where can I stream this? Where can I watch this?
Where can I follow?
And the answer is generally you can't. We might have disclosed that already on episode 1. And until now, I never asked the question why. So I looked online, and it looks like 10 years ago, Drew did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and you went through.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, the first question, the big question was, why can't I watch the Drew Carey Show anywhere? Mm-hmm. And Drew basically said it's not available just because of music licensing reasons.
This is what I was told.
Apparently it's the case for most old shows, but I guess this show relied heavily on its music choices, or whenever they made the agreements. In this particular era, it was just whatever. They can't work it out now retroactively. I'm not going to pretend like I understand
music copyright law.
Music copyright law. I do not.
Yeah. I don't know.
But in layman's terms, this was created in an era where television wasn't meant to be owned. It was meant to just be broadcast and you watch it, and nobody anticipated DVDs or streaming services.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it just gets a little crazy with the amount of music that they use, or they can't reach a deal with whoever some of their vendors were or whatever. So anyway, that's why you can't watch the Drew Carey Show. And there's, I guess, been movement to figure this out. I mean, this certainly isn't the only show that's ever faced music licensing challenges. But there's not enough to make. People just do not care about
Ladies
this
and gentlemen,
show.
we would like to announce that we are starting the campaign to get David Zaslav to put this to bed and get this goddamn show on some streaming service, Max, whatever it's going to be called by the time you're listening to this. I think let's hashtag keep calm and carry on.
Yes.
How about that?
We should get that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, why not? Well,
or a mug.
I'm sure at some point. Ooh, a mug would be good. A hat.
I mean, there's a lot of keep calm, carrot.
No, I know. I understand.
For those of you at home, I did not understand that Shane understood.
I sometimes it's not clear that I understand anything.
Shane's got a remarkable poker face.
No, I did. Somebody also told me this because, and I don't think this is getting too far ahead. I don't know what band it is. Apparently, some band and bands make appearances on the show and like perform, I presume in the Warsaw or somewhere later on. And that is hard to retroactively.
Or if they ever find another place in Cleveland to go.
We don't know. Well,
we know through 4 episodes.
Yeah,
it's still only the Warsaw.
It's the only place that you can go. It's the place that everybody goes for drinks, including Mr. Bell now. But let's start with episode 3. Episode 3. I had the title and it's already gone. I'm going to look it up.
The joining of 2 unlike elements is a mixture.
Thank you. That's fantastic. I love how weird these titles are now.
Yeah, they're very complex.
Yeah, like they're getting weirder. Pilot, miswrite, okay, whatever. This one, and then there's like another sciencey sounding one for the 4th. Very good. My first note was, and this was retroactively after I watched it, this show rules and feels like a fever dream. We start off. They're in the office. Everybody has a bridal shower for one of the coworkers there. Drew's giving cheap gifts. And Kate's not even giving a gift. I love Kate's.
But that's ingenious.
It's a cool
Kate's
move.
Perspective.
It's a pretty cool move. She just gives a card tape or attached to wrapping paper.
A piece of wrapping paper.
Right,
so you get a card as if the gift had gone missing and they only have the card left.
It's perfect.
And they set it up like she only does it in that instance, but very quickly somebody comes up to her later and they're like, "Hey, Kate, I never found that gift you gave me for my baby shower."
I wouldn't be surprised. We didn't see it if it was just the same wrapping paper. She's just got one roll and she keeps doing it. It's perfect. It's genius. The person who does come up with, well, it's interesting because I thought this was going to be the central conflict of the whole episode and it wasn't. We get a guy named Ed who pleads with Drew to fire him. I think it's such a baller move. His wife is expecting, and he's like, "I want to have time with the kids, and let's be honest, I'm not going anywhere here."
This guy,
Also,
I'm not only it's not going anywhere here. He's like, how long can a guy stay in women's shoes? he sells women's shoes, and then Drew just gives a knowing glance. Is it? But this guy, whoever plays Ed, is some sort of character actor.
Yes.
And I've seen him in Seinfeld. I feel like I've seen him in Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's just out there he's doing the sitcom circuit.
He's got a very specific voice.
Oh, yeah.
That's more what it is, I think, than anything visually. Like, his voice is so stark, and I don't know what his name is, and I did not do the research on finding out his name.
He does have a long face, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a horse.
And you ask, where's the long face? It was this guy was the first man that they
heard
asked.
that joke?
Yes,
he was the first man, and he was like, "Well, I work in comedy forever now."
Yeah.
So Drew fires him. I think that's a cool move on Drew's part. I will say. The first note I have about this episode, though, is we're learning Drew has a good moral compass. Yes.
He didn't. He wasn't immediately like, "Let's just sure, I'll can you, whatever." He was like, I don't know. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
You really... Drew's a good guy.
Yeah.
Drew...
We were debating last
he's
time
a rule follower.
If he's a good boss or not. I think the answer is, or supervisor, whatever title. I think he is a good person. I think he really does have a moral compass that he tries to follow.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if that's going to just devolve into... Maybe he does just follow the rules out of his own... cowardness towards losing his job or his life.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
or
find
his
out
life.
or his life. He's going to lose control of his life. Yeah.
Spiral out. Okay, so then we go to the next scene. They're at the home. Drew's doing he's going through the nastiest fridge you've ever seen in your life. Fuzzy Jello. Fuzzy Jello.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Also,
I think we might be there right now. I don't know if the listeners know this. We live together. And, I think I left some egg rolls in there that I think.
Yeah, I've thrown out some fuzzy leftovers in there. We gotta take a moment to appreciate. I appreciated his outfit when he was cleaning it out. He had the white socks with like the weird sandals, but they were ankle high.
Yeah.
And he was wearing the like plaid cargo shorts.
The cargo shorts are so specific of an era of the 90s. It feels like he's been to a ska show. Like I don't know how else to describe it other than Drew Carey's fully gone through it. Anyway, he's going out back. He's taking out this trash in that incredible outfit. And there's a goddamn, I don't even know what kind of lizard. It's like a Komodo dragon.
I was going to say, is that a Komodo dragon?
I think it is a Komodo dragon. And for the purposes of this podcast. Komodo?
I don't,
Kimono.
Is it kimono?
I think it's kimono. I think it's a kimono dragon.
God, this is gonna be in the internet, and I don't know what this is.
But anyway, he's walking out, and on the pool table is just, I swear to God, like a 3
No,
or
it's
4.
komodo.
Okay, Komodo. Dragon.
Kimono, I think, is a type of clothing.
Oh, okay. Nice. I thought you were going to say it's some sort of slur, and I was like, oh no, what have I done?
Oh.
No, so he's got a Komodo dragon just on the pool table in the backyard. And we learn it's Jules's. It's his goddamn neighbor's Komodo dragon.
Yeah. And so he starts yelling for Jules.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jules comes over and he's like, there's this giant lizard. They just call it a giant lizard on my pool table.
Yeah.
And it brings up my favorite quote of the episode, which is, what kind of weirdo puts a pool table in the backyard? That's just asking for lizards.
It is. It is. You know what? I hate to say it. Jules has a great point, though.
He has a perfect point. And this is why I haven't seen this before.
I love this lizard. I don't know if this lizard has a name, if we see it. And we see it again at the end of the episode. I don't know if we'll see it throughout. I want so badly for this lizard to recur. And it also reminded me, people have said this to me before, and I don't know if it's a compliment or what it is. I think I would be a weird lizard guy.
If you had a lizard, you would be weird, or that you embody a weird lizard guy?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it would be. I think if I had a pet, like, I don't know, I'd probably choose a normal pet, but it would be. I think I could also. I think I could be a guy that owns like a bearded dragon or some shit, and like just that's my MO.
Yeah.
Jules doesn't strike me as that.
Okay. Well, wait.
Well, we got to also explain. Yes.
Jules strikes is a wild card. See,
Right.
I think there are people out there that would, regular kind of people, that could have a bearded dragon. We just got my niece. She just got a lizard of some sort. I don't know.
Nice.
This
maybe I'm
year.
ascribing something that's not.
I think
catch-all.
there are reasons. No. It's definitely catch-all for certain
specific
people.
type of dude.
You are not my niece. You're a different type of human.
Mm-hmm, that's fair.
And if you got it, it would be weird.
Yeah.
But you would be of a certain, you would fall in a Venn diagram or a certain subset of society. I think that I can't remember.
What I do want to say about Jules is we've learned he is definitely, though he might not strike me as it, he is weird animal guy.
Oh yeah.
We got the Komodo dragon. We got the bees from episode 2.
And then shortly after the Komodo dragon, we end up.
The gang comes over.
Yeah, the gang comes over, and we find out that Jules has a monkey, and it likes to whip its crap.
Yeah.
At
its
people,
friend,
and it was whipping it at Drew's friends as they came in with their coats over their heads.
I think the monkey's name is Bobo. So we do get a name for the monkey.
Yeah.
Not for the lizard, but that's all right.
But we don't see the monkey.
No, it's true. I think it's probably easier for them to get a lizard on set.
That's my understanding in show business, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's hard to work with monkeys.
It's hard to license music, and it's hard to work with monkeys.
Yeah.
Those are the two things we've
very
learned about the
difficult.
entertainment industry today.
Lots of cigarette breaks.
It's built into its contract. It's just... this is where the central conflict builds, basically, is we learn when the gang comes over and they get through the shit-throwing monkey that Kate's in her feels. Kate's feels, between the bridal shower, and she's got all these other friends from, growing up that are now getting married, and she's still single and doesn't necessarily want a husband, but she feels like she's lacking something, specifically that big wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
That you dream of as a little girl, I imagine. I have never had that experience.
I've never had that dream.
No. I've never seen myself in a white dress going down an aisle, but I do understand the trope of it.
Yeah, and she goes through, she talks about it in a big church, et cetera, and then she's only amplified by her being surrounded by the weirdest dudes in history.
And they try their best
Lewis,
to make her feel better.
Oswald, Drew, all of them.
But my God, they are really bad at trying to support their friend through this. My line that I had in this was Lewis saying, "Look at the Bride of Frankenstein. She got married after she was dead."
That was good.
Truly a fantastic Ryan Stiles line. So anyway, she leaves, and then Drew comes up with a way to make her feel better that I think is honestly some of the craziest shit I've ever heard. Inspired by... Oh, wait, I do want to say before we get into this. We now realize they are, like, lifelong friends. Like, they grew up together, teenagers, high school. I didn't realize that. I don't think that was established, really, in the first two episodes.
I don't think it was either. Also, real quick side note, in case this comes up later, whenever they're talking about the wedding, Drew mentions Jackie. An ex of some kind. Ex of some kind that he did think about marrying at some point. Now, this isn't relevant again in this episode, but if it comes up later again in the season, Drew has had a long-term relationship in the past. That this is the first we're hearing, really, of Jackie.
I think the theme that I got out of these two episodes we're talking about today, romance. We're getting into the love of the Drew Carey Show.
Well, it's a bunch of people in their 30s that are single.
Yeah. What else are you going to have?
Yeah.
And it's in Cleveland, the most romantic place in America. So Drew comes up with maybe the craziest thing that I've heard, inspired by a fraternity at his college. By the way, we don't know the college. But inspired by the fraternity at his college, he wants to have a gag shotgun wedding party where they basically get Kate in a wedding dress, handcuff her to Drew, and then drive her to the Warsaw where they have a big mock ceremony and celebration.
So can I just insert one of the lines that I really liked before that? So they're coming up with this scheme, or Drew, they're all sitting around the table, and Drew brings it up. And then, what is it? Drew's line is, so, great, all we need is a wedding dress, handcuffs, and some flowers. And Lewis is like, hey, I got all that stuff in my trunk.
Again, killer Ryan Stiles.
Yes, he's murdered this scene.
So
yeah, no. So they started at work, and
it's so weird seeing the two of them.
So weird. I wrote here that they were dressed as fishermen. they just look. They give me. I know they're just like wearing flannels and vests, but they give me big, like they just came back from their fishing trip, and then everyone's in a suit or. And then, but anyway, Drew's got the handcuffs, and then Kate comes into the scene. I guess he had her.
Yeah, they trick her.
They trick her in getting into the wedding dress by telling her that one of the models got sick, and they needed her to model it.
Right. So they get her in a wedding dress for some sort of photo shoot, and then they handcuff her to Drew, and they just carry her out of his office while she's like kicking and screaming that she needs new friends. It's crazy to me that you're like, oh, if my female friend's feeling down, you know what's like a great idea is I should just borrow this fraternity's idea. I think this is really gonna hit with my female friend really hard. It's crazy.
She's gonna love it.
She's gonna love it. You know what women love? Things that fraternities do. Historically,
they've never missed.
It's never missed. They get in for free. So yeah, they take Kate to the Warsaw, kidnap her. Oh, and of course it's the Warsaw, as we've said. There's no other place.
The only place in Cleveland.
There's no other third space in Cleveland. You work, you live at home, and then you
go to the Warsaw
until you die. That's what you do.
But I love the entrance into the Warsaw, and I was blown away at all of a sudden how they got this set up.
Oh, for sure.
There was a full polka band, which I loved. I love how big polka music is in these kind of Rust Belt states. So there's a full polka band, accordion, clarinet, whatever, and they're playing as they walk in, and then all their friends are drinking. Again, great Ryan Stiles episode, though. He is the officiant. The officiant. There we go.
Dressed as a Star Trek character, which I thought was such a weird choice, but we'll see in the next episode comes back in a way.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a little nerd. And yeah, he's
and also you can see the chemistry that Ryan and Drew have.
Yeah.
Which is why I think, whose line ends up getting probably born out of this.
Yeah. Are you saying that's the reason Diedrich Bader isn't on whose line? It's because Ryan Stiles and him? Yeah. Yes. They do have really good back and forth that I think is established.
I mean, Ryan just puts him down constantly.
Yeah.
There's a moment they're going through the officiating. I don't know if you're going to go, and he's like, "Do you, Kate, take Drew? Will you to go boldly where no woman has gone before?"
And Kate gets the opposite ribbing. Will you take to go boldly where 20 to 30 men have gone before?
Yes.
Very good. I think also I had to note he implies that Drew pays for sex in this.
Yes, he does.
Which I was
We learned something new about Drew.
Well, no. Oh, he caught so many strays. But yeah, then they get gag married, and then they're all having a good little time at the Warsaw. Kate's dancing with everybody.
Oh yeah, Lewis is like, to take Drew with no refunds, store credit only.
Final
And
sale.
Kate leans in. Yeah, final sale, and Kate leans in, and she's like, do you have anything in my size?
Credit to Krista Miller. It's a good joke. It's a
Yeah.
good joke. She's very good in this episode
She
as
is
well.
so
She's good
good.
throughout so far. I
Yeah.
really enjoy her, but she shines in this one. And they get gag married. Oh, Lewis ends by being like, you can now kiss my ass. Mwah. Again, every line that he gets here is perfect. And then we get the gang minus Kate, just the fellas, if you will, talking at the table about how, despite they've been lifelong friends, none of them have ever had any sort of romantic interest with Kate. They haven't dated, they've never hooked up, none of that.
They really delve into it here, though. This is where you find out they've known each other since, like, middle school ages and everything. And, no, it does give me big, like, here are the dudes, and then they're talking about their one female friend energy, because the one, Lewis, is like, oh, yeah, I kissed Kate once in 6th grade. She had mono, and she dared me.
Yeah, it's good. We learn, Drew also, I think, has a moment of vulnerability where we kind of get, I think, the beginning of a will they, won't they that's been going for some time, is what I would say. Is we learn that Kate changed in front of him once when they were teenagers. And it wasn't like a sexy little thing. It was like he didn't even register as a man to her.
Yeah.
I think he kind of takes it very personally and is hurt by it. Oh, it's a bummer.
You can see it on his face.
Yeah. I didn't... Sure, man, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
He looked crushed.
Yeah, he did.
And the... But then they button it with "still counts," and then they all cheers.
They all cheers to it. We also
like,
learned...
that's a dude's rock line.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
It still counts. We also learn Oswald's mom is a bit of a smoke show, apparently.
Oh,
I don't know if they're just ribbing her or if she's actually hot,
Apparently everyone had a crush on Oswald's mom, is what we learned.
That's what we learned. It's, So then we get Kate and Drew after the Warsaw in a limo to another bar. I want to tell you, dear listener, we do not see the other bar. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. We never...
We never see it.
They're on their... No, it's Morton's. That's what they said.
Morton's,
yeah. But we never see this place.
Yeah,
You're
we
right.
never see this place. As far as I know,
continuing
it's
the illusion that there are only 3 places to go.
And Drew and Kate have a conversation, and Drew basically confides in Kate this story that we hear earlier to Lewis and Oswald about how he felt bad that she changed in front of him and never took him seriously as, like, a man, so to speak.
Yeah.
Kate, unfortunately, isn't really listening to it because she breaks out in hives. Just starts itching herself all over. Like,
I thought they were going to have her change.
I thought she was going to get undressed as well, and then you realize, oh no, she's itchy, and then they show her arm covered in hives.
Yeah.
So Drew, they're sticking their heads out the sunroof. Drew immediately tries to signal people to go to the hospital. So they go to the hospital. We don't see it, but then the next day they're back in the office, and Drew and Kate converse again, and we learn the dress was returned to the store because it wasn't used for a wedding, it was used for a funeral, and that Kate's hives came from the formaldehyde on the dress. What the fuck? What is going on?
Who's burying anyone in a wedding dress?
What was going on in the Drew Carey Show writers' room that they were like, all right, I got it.
We need an out, guys.
Yeah. We got it. So the dress, we're going to learn this all in 30 seconds. The dress was returned to the store, and it was used on a corpse in some weird sex thing. Like, who puts a dead body in a wedding? Like, it's not a funeral. It can't be a funeral.
No.
It's got to, I don't want to know what it is.
They didn't say funeral. Did they say funeral? Maybe they said funeral.
It was maybe implied.
It was,
but there's a lot implied.
Our minds were wandering with the necrophilia in the Drew Carey universe, I guess.
What crimes could happen in Cleveland?
And then it ends with Drew firing someone on their honeymoon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. We completely skipped over the Ed subplot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I put this note in here, and I'm like, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah, here's what we do. So Ed, in the middle of the episode, comes back. He begs for his job back. It turns out his wife's child isn't his. It's a Chinese guy's. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Is that it's a Chinese baby, and Ed's wife isn't Chinese. So he's
in fact, not only that, Ed's wife won't even eat mandarin orange.
I forgot that line. I forgot that. Oh, it's so good.
And then, so poor Ed is distraught,
And Drew says again, good guy Drew. He's gonna do his best. He's gonna try to get a job. You know, man, it sucks that you quit a job you didn't need for a baby that isn't yours. But we've all been there, you know. And yeah, Ed. So the woman who we go in the beginning with the bridal shower ends up needing to be fired because she's stealing things from the store, according to Mimi.
She had one line in there like maybe she was stealing things in a bikini that she could wear for an eye patch, is what Mimi said.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out who this Ed character is. Ed from the Drew Carey Show. Who's the actor?
Keep it going.
Joe Walsh.
Joe Walsh. There you go.
Let me make sure image.
He's got to have like an IMDb where we can see all the shit he's been in. He's like he's like a character actor that's in just a bunch of sitcoms.
Actor. This is gonna be the wrong guy.
Yeah.
No, this isn't the right guy. This is the neighbor. Oh well. Okay. Anyway, we tried.
We tried our best.
I tried to find out. You guys are gonna have to do some of your own research at home. This is gonna be your homework for next week.
Cleveland
and then
rocks. Do your own research. Yeah. We've always been saying it.
Send us a letter.
Send a letter, courtesy of Drew
once you figure out who it is.
The one thing I do want to say also is that that's why Kate broke out in hives. I didn't know that we were supposed to think that Drew thought she broke out in hives because he was being vulnerable with her.
Oh yeah,
that's like such a '90s thing to be like. You know what would make a woman break out in hives and get ill is a man expressing vulnerability. I think it's just very funny in hindsight that that's immediately his conclusion.
Yeah, or that we were even supposed to pick that up as the viewer. I wasn't
have until he implies it at the very end. But yeah, so and then we get Kate reassures Drew that he would be a great husband to somebody that's not her. So I think she very specifically says it's a heartwarming moment, but also it's like, oof.
We got to remember, Drew sucks.
Yeah, Drew's good, just not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me. And that's episode 3.
That's episode 3.
That's episode 3. Wow.
You
said, yeah.
Pretty good ep. I think episode 3 was an excellent ep.
It feels weird though, right? You're watching it the whole time and you're just like, what the hell is going on there? It takes a bunch of turns you just never expect.
Yeah, and I can't imagine. They're building this universe with no uniformity here. No, it's just, except for it only takes place in 3 places.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, all of these, character traits. Well, no, I'm thinking a little bit of episode 4 too. Let's go to episode 4 because it introduces a few new character traits too for some of these guys. So hold on, one thing I like, a little small gag.
Yeah.
That establishes something about Drew Carey's character. He pushes himself from the printer to his desk in his wheelie chair.
He does it twice, I think. Once in both episodes.
Once in both episodes now. So I think this is a thing, and I think it's establishing Drew's just a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah. Is he a lazy piece of shit, or is he just efficient?
Yeah.
I would argue, because as somebody who absolutely would push himself off of a printer,
maybe he's just a little boy.
Maybe I think Drew Carey's kind of a man-child, a little bit.
Yeah,
I think so. We go to episode 4. The romance theme continues. We're in the middle.
What's the name of episode 4?
I would need to look.
I think I wrote this one down. Hold on, I got it. Oh, I'm the research guy this episode.
Yeah,
we're doing rotations.
We're doing rotations.
What is it? I wrote down Nature Arbors a Vacuum.
That's
that
it.
Right?
That is it. What does any of this
I don't know
mean?
what. It's like they want you to go back.
It's like they went through a 7th grade science textbook and they just chose like specific subheadings. That's episode 4. So we're in the middle of Drew firing a woman who just seems very miserable, blames everybody else for her problems. She shows up late to work all the time. Trash fires are being started in every department that she gets assigned to, like bad news shit.
Yeah, and there's a point in the firing process where Drew's going through the laundry list of things. He's like, I don't remember what specifically he says, but she says, "That's not my fault. That's your fault for hiring me." Mm-hmm. And it's just a good, quick moment. He's like, "All right, you know what? We're done."
Starts stamping it off. She's fired. She asks, "Have you talked to Mr. Bell?" He says, "I don't need to talk to Mr. Bell. I make the decisions for this." We then learn through Mimi doing charades,
which I knew right away.
Yeah,
when she brought his name into it, I'm like, okay.
Well, but we need to talk. I do want to just talk. She does a charades game with Drew to get this.
Mimi does.
And it's the way she gets to Bell is by doing Nosferatu.
Is it Nosferatu's the vampire?
That's who he thinks it is. It's like she does
the Hunchback.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame, ringing the bell. And Drew, when she starts doing like these guttural noises, goes, "Your father. That's your father." I think it's very epic.
It's good, yeah.
But we learn through these charades, Drew has just fired Mr. Bell's girlfriend.
Yes.
And he's now petrified about it.
Uh-oh.
This seems like, to me, a classic sitcom sort of trope of like, "Oh, no, I did something the boss isn't going to like."
Yeah, but again, similar to the themes we talked about in the last episode, these people are all horny at work.
It's an incredibly horny
It's great. The feeling in the air is...
There's not a lot going on in Ohio.
No.
So let's just bump up.
Let's just all have sex. And
that's our cold open. We go to the second scene. Drew's in a new carpool, and it's a group of smokers that refuse to roll the windows down. So he's just getting hotboxed by tobacco smoke. He asks to roll the windows down. They say, "No, it's cold outside." And his line is, "Oh, right, that wouldn't be healthy. How silly of me."
Right.
Again. Classic Drew Carey line. But yeah, basically they establish that they've been hearing rumors that Drew isn't going to last long because he fired Mr. Bell's girlfriend. Then Mr. Bell's mad. They thought he was already fired, but then they hear he might get fired tomorrow. Drew starts being the worrywart that I think is internally.
But I will love here that it establishes that Drew just doesn't know workplace gossip.
Not at all.
No one's... basically, Drew is the odd man out everywhere, it seems, in his life. But like, back to this thing they painted in episode 2, Drew's a bit of a loser, or people don't want to include him on things. He's alone a lot, but anyway, no one's including him in the workplace gossip.
Nobody's telling him anything. We go back. Drew gets dropped off. Jules wants his shirt. He's hanging up clothing.
It's just a blue dress shirt.
It's just a blue dress shirt. You can get one at the department store that Drew works at.
Well, that's what Drew's like. You can get one of these at the stores. And Jules is like, they don't have shirts like this at the store.
He's hanging laundry, and this neighbor rules, dude. This neighbor,
I love him.
I do love him. The neighbor just wants his shirt. And then everybody else, I love that also as we get the gang coming over, they all agree with Jules. Just give him the shirt.
Also,
you have so many shirts, Drew Carey.
Quick little note we established here, too, is Oswald and Lewis live together.
Yes. Yeah.
They live in an apartment.
And Lewis has a girlfriend. I feel like we're learning all of this in real time, and I can't believe 4 episodes in we're taking the time. I think the girlfriend might have been at the bar at one point, but I don't remember.
Maybe.
But yeah, she's got a girlfriend. He's got a girlfriend.
Lewis has a girlfriend, and Oswald and Lewis live together.
Yeah.
And Lewis is borrowing Drew's house to throw a sci-fi party.
Mm-hmm. Lewis is a nerd. Nerd alert, dude.
Big and we're talking classic nerd energy. Mm-hmm. Not like, hey, we're going to do a podcast about every episode of the Drew Carey Show.
No, but that's actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, we're talking about Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And
we're talking about looking down, I believe, on Star Wars fans.
But again, I love that, like, our knee-jerk reaction is nerd alert, but ultimately they're like, "What, Drew, you've never been invited to a sci-fi party?" And Drew's like, "Oh yeah, sure I have." And then he's like, No.
Drew's that much of a loser that he doesn't even get invited to the nerd parties. Drew can't fit in anywhere.
That's where we're at.
It's a shame. Kate comes in to talk with Drew about pitching an idea to Mr. Bell for the department store.
Kate's a go-getter.
She's a go-getter. She doesn't want to spend her life selling lipstick. She wants to instead operate a day spa out of the thing. I think it's actually a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
I think from the,
Sure.
it makes
I think if
business
I were a
sense.
businessman in charge of a department
And
store.
she asks Drew to help her pitch this to Mr. Bell because she's, newer to the company. And Drew explains to her this is a terrible idea because he's basically a dead man walking.
Because he's, again, fired the boss's fuck buddy.
Yeah. So we then learn a little more about the office gossip, that Kate was aware about this. And not only that there are other girlfriends that Mr. Bell has
Yeah, or there's been a slew of them.
Yeah.
And not only that, we learn about all of the terrible shit that everyone's doing in that office, including one of the girls is drawing cartoons of Drew Carey in the bathroom.
Yeah. Which one? There's so many. My favorite one was Kate describes one being drawn inside of a toilet bowl.
Yeah, her favorite is the one inside the toilet bowl.
Cutscene to Drew in the office being escorted by a security guard through the office.
What? I'm not a pervert or whatever is what he's saying.
Mimi, back me up. He's a pervert. So good. So we're at the office. Belle calls Drew and says, "You know what? I heard you fired this person. No problem. I don't want. I've heard
because
people,
we've also learned at
himself.
well, not only that, we've learned at this time that Kate has already pitched herself to Mr. Bell.
Yeah.
So we're coming. Drew gets back to his desk after the pervert bit, and Kate's already there, and she brings it up.
Yeah. And then Belle calls Drew.
Yes.
To talk about the firing that he did yesterday, but instead of it going poorly, he's actually like, "I think it's fine. I heard people were talking about things with me and her, and what I interpreted as a cover your ass move." He goes, "No, I think it's fine. But hey, your friend Kate had a great suggestion. I think we should meet up to talk about it." And Drew tries to schedule a meeting.
Yeah.
And then Belle goes, "No, let's do it. Let's do it a
do
little
it
more
different.
casual.
Let's be a little loose."
Yeah. Where do y'all go for drinks? Where do they go for drinks? The goddamn Warsaw.
Yeah.
'Cause
No ambiguity to
No.
where we're going at any point in this universe.
Kate then runs off to go back to her department store job because Belle's talking to her up about how great she is and how she slaves away there. And then we get a twist of, "Hey, isn't that the bar near the Motel 6?
How fucking crazy is this?
Yeah.
This is egregiously forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're watching a TV show, but I'm like, holy shit. He's
And
like,
not only that, do they rent by the hour?
yes.
Yeah. Come on, man. Have
And-
a little bit of confidence. You can make a night out of it. What do you need an hour for, Mr. Bell?
Come on, Mr. Bell.
Do 3. Yeah. No, it's pretty egregious. And Drew immediately realizes his friend's in trouble. So
Drew, again, established he's a good guy.
yeah,
Good-hearted Drew.
Good guy Drew, looking out for Kate.
Doesn't want to just...
Doesn't want the boss slopping over his friend.
Only because he feels some sort of selfish guilt. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I fired the boss's fuck buddy, so now I have to give him my
friend." We come back from a commercial break. The sci-fi party is on.
Oh, it's in full
A
swing.
whole bunch of weirdos, dude.
The costumes are insane.
The costumes are nuts. My
I would have
favorite-
loved to be there.
Oh, I would have loved it. Did you have a favorite costume out of the bunch?
I mean, I did love just a guy with 2 heads.
That was great.
That one was...
Drew hitting on the girl, and then her boyfriend comes over with a second prosthetic head.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were with something."
Yeah.
There's like a Chewbacca-looking guy in
Yeah.
a fur hat. Like, it's just great stuff. They come in to the door. They open the door when somebody brings it. And literally, like, they do like a weird, like, as if they're like they're pretending that they're being transported into a new world. Oswald shows up. Oswald, we should establish from before, says he's not going to the sci-fi party. He's got cooler gigs. He's going to see a lady. And he shows up for the costume party, and we're like, "What are you doing?"
Oswald fucks, I guess, is what we learned.
Well, but then Oswald doesn't fuck. So Oswald talks fuck. He talks a big game.
Yeah.
And then he
Oswald,
doesn't
much like everyone in this show, wants to fuck.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work.
So he gets booked instead last minute as a DJ for the sci-fi party. I do love, we've established, we thought it last time, but now his gig is DJ.
Yes, that's
Lewis is a janitor, Oswald's a DJ, and Drew works at a department store. It's incredible.
Right.
Yeah. These are the jobs you can have in Cleveland,
And Kate
Ohio.
used to be working for a mechanic as a desk person, and
Now sells lipstick.
Yes.
Kate and Drew are getting ready to go out. Because, again, the sci-fi party is at Drew's house.
Yeah.
It's at Drew's house. They are getting ready to go out to meet Mr. Bell, and Drew tries to warn Kate that he's not feeling great.
He's getting a vibe.
He's getting a weird vibe. And Kate's very defensive. I can take care of myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Kate's strong. She's
Kate's
empowered.
A strong, confident woman. Anyway, they go to the bar, and they do something ingenious here. I know at some point in this show, the boss is Craig Ferguson.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is Mr. Bell or if that's a later. I think it has to be not, because the voice of Mr. Bell is not Craig Ferguson.
Right.
So we see Mr. Bell in the bar, but we don't actually.
We
It's through his POV, which is kind of ingenious.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it gave me big, like, Seinfeld, how they shoot George Steinbrenner only from the back.
Yeah.
And then have Larry David just do the voiceover. Obviously, this trick, I feel like, for Mr. Bell would get old quick for how big of a character he is becoming. So that's probably eventually why Craig Ferguson comes into the role. For now,
it also plays.
It's brilliant.
It also plays a great move because we get to immediately see how much of a horn dog he is. Because we're literally seeing the scene through his eyes, we get to see what he is looking at, specifically on Kate and Drew.
Yeah, and here's a news flash. It's not Kate's eyes.
No, it's a little more south.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're trying to basically. Drew tries to immediately get it on. Let's get to the pitch. Let's talk about what this is.
Yeah, and
Mr.
he's leaning
Bell's
in front of Kate. He's
yeah.
trying to sort
Mr.
of
Bell's
eyes
trying to
up
have
here.
a good time, some cleavage. Kate immediately catches on, and Drew creates a scene by pouring a drink onto her and giving her an out to be like, oh, I have to go home and change.
Yeah.
Drew then is now with Mr. Bell one-on-one. Mr. Bell is upset and wants him to put in a good word with his friend Kate. Otherwise, he might fire Drew.
Yeah, that's what basically the whole show becomes now. Set me up with Kate, or you're getting canned because you fired my previous fuck buddy. We learn also, I guess. Not that I don't think they're. We should not feel empathy for Mr. Bell because he seems.
Were you thinking at some point? Oh, I see where you're going.
They're painting him with this as this kind of lonely guy.
Yeah.
And he leans over to Drew and he's like, "How old are you, Carrie? 50?" And then Drew's like, "No, I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 30s, sir." And the boss is like, "Come on, that's just the booze talking."
They also, again, because you establish the loneliness, they literally have the two of them sing "One is the loneliest number." Maybe this is the beginning of the music licensing problems.
Right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
This could be it.
It's Drew and just his sad, horny boss singing "One is the loneliest number" at the Warsaw.
And then cut to the next day, they're at work and they're talking about like he was out very late. He was out for a long time, and he was like, "You'd be surprised how many songs about loneliness there are." Yeah.
We then learn that Drew and Kate have two separate schemes going, or two separate plans going on. We see Drew's first. Drew brings the woman that Mr. Bell was sleeping with back in to rehire her for a new position, or to rehire her into the company at least. I don't think we get a position.
Right.
But he, is like kind of pleading with her to come back.
There's an excellent negotiation process.
She asks for Employee of the Month, gives it to her, even though it's supposed to be voted on by everybody. She also asks for a handicap parking space.
Yes, that's my favorite line in it. Is like, yeah, can I get a handicap spot? It's like, Mrs. Krabappel, she can carry her air tank or whatever.
Yeah, she can carry her. Yeah. We're going to have the dog carry her.
Yeah, exactly.
She's just that disabled that she has an air tank and like a support animal. Beautiful. So yeah, we have Susie back, and then we see Kate enter, and Kate explains to Drew, I went in. I confronted Mr. Bell, and I told him I want to keep it professional, but I won't go any further than that. And apparently he was very receptive.
One thing that I thought interesting here, we're never seeing any scenes really without Drew. I think, is that just going to be it?
I
Kate,
feel like there had to be a note of like, if it's the Drew Carey Show.
Everything's going to be otherwise in this universe. Tell, don't show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of a shame. I wonder if that changes later on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like maybe a first season thing of like, let's keep the talent.
Yeah.
Front and
Sure.
So anyway,
Drew Carey, the talent.
Drew Carey, the talent.
He is certainly
talented.
the talent.
God damn it. So, we see that Kate's made her peace. Drew then gets a phone call from Mr. Bell. And Mr. Bell says, hey, listen, I think that day spa idea is a great idea. Kate's got the all approved. She's done the thing. She's made a mark. And who's Mr. Bell going to hire to be in charge of the day spa? The woman that he was fucking originally, that Drew just rehired.
Yeah.
Kate is devastated. Kate is so pissed because she had no idea Drew was doing that. Drew, of course, is doing it out of the kindness of his heart. But it does end up fucking her plans out to get out of the makeup department. And we end with what I thought was just a hysterical visual gag of Kate taking Drew's tie, putting it on his desk, sticking a knife through it, flipping his coat jacket over, and then giving him a wedgie so atomic it goes over the back, of his rolling chair.
How big are Drew's fucking underwear?
What's going on, Drew? Why are
you walking around?
That big?
How are you walking around with that much in your pants?
I don't understand. The physics of it doesn't make sense to me. And then we get a classic Drew line I loved at the end, which is, if you think I didn't like that, you're wrong.
Yeah.
We love a kink king. It's exactly that. I know that they're doing that tongue in cheek. I think Drew's into a little bit of wedgie play here.
Drew's a little freak.
Drew's a little freak.
We haven't, granted, we've established that Drew doesn't get around very much anyway, so I'm not sure. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe he's being shamed by the 10 women in Cleveland that we've met.
They all know.
Yeah.
They all know. They all know. Oh, he's into the underwear stuff. And that's episode 4.
Yeah, they cut to the credits scene, and we're back at the Warsaw. Actually, the credit scene, we're back at the Warsaw, and it's through Mr. Bell's perspective again, and it's Drew and Drew's crew, Lewis, and Oswald, and they're all singing this song. I like to go swimming with bone-naked women and swim between their legs. And it just was a perfect dudes rock.
Yeah.
Punctuation.
Though they hate it, we should clarify.
Oh, they do not like it.
Mr. Bell's on board. Drew's doing it because, unfortunately, I think Mr. Bell has now found out karaoke night at the Warsaw.
Yeah,
so
Kate gave it
he's
up.
Doing
Every
it to
Monday,
keep his job.
karaoke night at the Warsaw.
Yeah, he's doing it to keep his job, and Oswald and Lewis are doing it, I guess, because they have nothing better to do. There's no sci-fi parties. Yeah.
Right.
And that's episode 4 of the Drew Carey Show. I don't know where the fuck they're going with this. I don't think it's obviously supposed to be self-contained in every episode. We're building towards something with Drew and Kate, maybe.
Maybe, but also
she's also made it.
Think about how quickly they just threw out Drew's little fling in the second ep.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
She's not even in the. We don't
even see her.
We were like, oh, I hope she sticks around. Maybe no, she's just completely
gone.
It's fine.
She used it as a launching pad.
Yeah.
Drew Carey's launching pad for a career.
Yeah.
No, I don't know where we're headed with this show.
Do you have any hopes? Do you have any expectations?
I hope that something happens with Kate.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
A little even if it ends up blowing up in their face, there is too much will they, won't they energy there. Yeah. And not to mention, they all have that tension, I guess. Not Drew the most, obviously, but even apparently Ryan and Oswald, or Lewis and Oswald, I keep calling him Ryan, have also been like, yeah, I like Kate, or I used to carry Kate's picture around.
Maybe we get a Bachelor sort of showdown between the three of them. Or something. I don't know. I think I'll tell you what we are building towards. Them going literally anywhere else in Cleveland.
We
have to establish a 4th place before the end of this season.
Can we please go to a store? We can go to or we
They work at a store though. Let's dream big, TJ.
How about a game? Oh, yeah. I'd love to go to a game.
I'd love to go to an Indians game. That'd be kind of cool.
Or Browns, anything. Just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Go to a park. Everyone go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, that's the only other thing there, right?
In Cleveland, I think.
I'm just going to look at the TripAdvisor at Cleveland. I mean,
where could we go? This is the problem. In 1995, I don't think they had TripAdvisors. So they didn't know.
They didn't know where else to go.
Yeah, these are a bunch of Hollywood schmucks. They don't know. They're just,
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't send them to downtown, to downtown LA? God damn. What a weird little show. I can't believe that this existed as long as it did, and that people have told me after listening to the first one that it gets weirder, and
people, there seems to be a little cult of people that really admire the show, love this show. I've heard from people that they're like, this was my favorite show, and it's all people of a certain age.
Sure.
We're talking to you, 30 plus.
Yeah, we're looking at you, millennials, late millennials, or
If you got out of high school because of 9/11, this is your show.
Yeah. If you owned the Backstreet Boys on CD,
right,
this is probably a show that you remember. But that's all for now, I think.
All right.
Good chatting with you.
Hey, good chatting with you. Hey, come back next time, guys.
Come back, friends.